Hi, welcome to Left Foot Media. My name is Brendan Malone and you're watching an episode of Walking and Talking. What is Walking and Talking? Well, as the name suggests, every day I like to try and go out for a little bit of a daily walk to break up the monotony of office life. And I thought, what better way to create a bit more short form content than to take my phone with me and a little bit of a shotgun mic that I've got here, and to share my thoughts in these shorter form videos and to call them Walking and Talking. It really is that simple. Today I want to talk about the Transformers movies. How the heck did these things ever get made? It is beyond me. I was watching one again the other day. My young boy, he loves Transformers. He wanted to watch one, so we put one on, and oh my gosh, these things, not only are they a mess, but they don't seem to actually be pitched at anyone. First of all, you've got this massive tonal inconsistency, and you've got these things in these films which in essence should be nothing more than kids movies. That's what the Transformers are. They're for children. It should be a kids movie, a high spec, high tech, high CG kids movie that's really well made. Instead, this has got content in it that is totally inappropriate for children. It's got adult content. There's F-bombs in the film that I watched, and I had completely forgotten about these things, and I was kind of a bit shocked and surprised. There's sexual content which was totally inappropriate for children. There's jokes which again are totally inappropriate for children. And yet at the same time, these movies are not really pitched at adults either, because they're just so simplistic. They are almost childish in the way that they tell their stories. The other thing about these films that astounds me and really makes me wonder how the heck they even got greenlit was the fact that they are so long. These films, not a single one of them actually runs to an appropriate length for the story that it wants to tell. They are all way too long. I think about the one we watched, I think it was the third one, The Dark of the Moon. Now that's a film, oh hello ducks, that's a film that actually had some potential, but man, it's almost two stories wrapped up into one. It's like a series of TV shows or TV episodes that have all been put together and sort of jammed together into a film. There's not a strong, coherent plot. There's stuff happening there that shouldn't be happening, that doesn't need to be happening, that doesn't advance the plot. In a nutshell, this film, not just this film, but all of them, they are insane. I really don't understand how anyone actually gave sign off on these films. I don't know what they were thinking. When they were writing the scripts, what were they thinking? Did no one sit down and say, hey, I think there's actually too much in this, we need to tone this down a bit, or perhaps I think we need to change the focus or the emphasis on these things because this is supposed to be a condensed film, and the idea is that people go into a theatre, they sit down, they watch the film and they enjoy it. Instead, what you see with these movies is these overly long, overly bloated, and oh my gosh, don't get me started on some of the CG sequences that were just completely over the top, and they are little more than visual masturbation. That's really how I describe them. It's someone saying, look at me, look what I can do with the tools and the techniques and all of the flash equipment that I've got at my disposal. They don't serve the story. They're used in a way that is just too over the top. There's too many of the darn things, and in essence what they do is they completely bog down and completely undermine the whole film. I honestly scratch my head when I think about these movies, and you know what makes me scratch my head even more is the fact that Michael Bay can actually make good movies. We saw this when he made that film 13 Hours, The Secret Soldiers of Benghazi. That film was made only a few years ago. It is great. There's nothing excessive about that movie. When I heard Michael Bay was directing it, I was worried because I thought this could well end up like the Transformers, but it doesn't at all. It's actually very reverential of the men. It's a true story for those who don't know it, about what happened in Benghazi with that whole embassy firefight. And so I've read the book. It's true to the book. It's very respectful of the real men who were involved in this. And there's nothing excessive. And in fact, Michael Bay uses his strengths, some of the sort of visual flourishes that he does when he's creating his films. He uses them in a really, really effective way when he's when he's making this particular movie, and it actually works really, really well. There's one shot I can think of from memory in particular where there's a mortar round, which you see the mortar round leave the mortar, and the camera follows the round and then follows it as it lands on the roof and does its damage. And that round and that particular shot is really important. First of all, it's not overused, that technique, and secondly, that particular shot and that particular round, in that battle was really important because of the damage that it did and it inflicted on one of the men who was involved, actually a couple of the men I think from memory. But the point is, it's a technique that's used well and used appropriately, and it plays to his strengths. But this film is not excessive in that regard, it's not over the top. And so when I look at that and I contrast that with Transformers, I think to myself, what the heck went wrong? How did this happen? Who wasn't supervising the guy? It's like someone gave the children the keys to the car and said, have at it and see what happens. I just don't understand it. I'd love to hear your thoughts, so please let me know what you think in the comments section below. And thanks to everyone, by the way, who is supporting the channel. I'm going to make these walking and talking videos more regularly so that there is more regular content on the channel, as promised. It's just a matter of trying to make that all work when you've got a young family of 5. And so this seems to me to be a clever way of trying to do if I get the words out of my mouth, trying to do two things at once. If you like the content I'm creating, then please consider supporting the channel. You can do that at patreon.com/leftfootmedia, or there's a tip for PayPal, a tip jar link below for PayPal. You can leave a tip there too. Thanks for watching. See you next time on Left Foot Media.